Hey folks, Pat here from D&S. This Madison Area Fishing Report is current as of May 20th. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know about a cool event going on tomorrow on the chain. It's called Casting for Kids. It's a local fishing tournament. I guess it's called a tournament. It's really just more of a friendly fundraiser for the Madison or American Family Children's Hospital and Carbone Cancer Center, where a bunch of area guides donate their boats and anglers donate their boats to take folks out that pay money to be taken out fishing on the Madison chain. And it's kind of a friendly catch, photo, and release tournament on the entire chain. And it's really a cool event. Raises a bunch of money for the Children's Hospital. Apparently, there's an auction that's still live, so you can go on and don't or register to bid on some stuff there. I think there's still time to register for the event. Some great sponsors. If you don't have time to participate, you can go online here, and I'd encourage anybody to donate. Of course, the Children's Hospital here in town does great work, and the Carbone Cancer Center, of course, also doing great work. So great opportunity to raise money for a great cause, and big thanks to everybody who organizes that, and big thanks to the guides and folks that are donating their boats and time to raise money for a good cause. Otherwise, news around the shop. Still got merch sitting in back end boxes. Just haven't had time. Been busy doing a bunch of stuff here at the shop. But if you guys come in and you want merch, ask for it. We can dig some out for you. Otherwise, we plan to get it behind the counter here pretty soon. So be looking for that. The other news, I heard from my bait guy last night. He's got a line on some more leeches. So these still aren't quite the jumbos that everybody asks for, but they're better size than the panfish ones we had gotten before. So later this morning, he'll be coming by 10, 11 o'clock usually, and should have leeches after that. So that's good news for everybody who's been looking for leeches. Otherwise, as far as the report goes, weather around town, the hot temps last week really took the lake temps from cold into warm pretty fast. So lake temps jumped 10, 15 degrees in a lot of spots. So I checked the buoy this morning. It was at 59 degrees. Last week, before the heat came in, we were in the high 40s. So jumped up quite a bit there in a week, and it's got the fish moving. And so, yeah, we got a little rain in the forecast for the weekend and early this week, but temps look pretty stable and seasonal. So should have the fish going pretty strong, getting a lot of spawning activity going on around town. So we can get started here, though. We got up here in Cherokee, had some great action being reported out of Cherokee Lake up here in the Cherokee Park area. I've been hearing about crappies coming in there to spawn. I've had some reports of some largemouth bass with some beat up fins, which tells you those fish are getting their beds ready, getting ready to spawn. Of course, catfish have still been slamming in this whole area. The whole Cherokee Lake and North Bay and everywhere in between has been some great catfish action. That big group of catfish folks from around the Midwest were up here. Had folks from Arkansas, Ohio, Kentucky, some folks with YouTube channels that do catfish with big followings were up here. They're really serious catfish anglers. Were part of this group that came into town. I heard about one boat in this area up here that had one day with 4 people in the boat, and they caught 115 catfish, all between 15 and 30 pounds. So it's just a catfish factory up here. And, it's really kind of a underappreciated fishery in Madison, but folks from around the Midwest know about it, and the word is out. So yeah, go enjoy catching some big cats if that's your thing. Otherwise, around Mendota, panfish are still up shallow. I've been hearing about panfish in a lot of the lagoons and some of these shallow areas over here along Middleton. Heard about some perch off Picnic Point. I don't hear a lot about perch this time of year. University Bay has been pretty good with some panfish, crappies moving in there. Bluegills are right behind them. The city shoreline, I still hear about walleyes being caught there at night, casting mostly. Tenney Park, hear about fish off the breakwall, some smallmouth and white bass been in there. White bass are spawning right now, or actually just finishing up. Warner Bay has been had some good action. I heard about some panfish down along the Warner Beach area and the little outlet there. Some good crappies and bluegills in there this last week. Walleyes and smallmouth around Governor's Island has been good, not just for boat folks, but shore anglers too have been doing really well in there. So that's worth a look. Um, Otherwise, the Yahara River, I still hear about fish being caught in there, in between on the isthmus. And then, of course, where the river dumps into Monona is always a good spot to check. Heard about some fish over here to Olbrick, the breakwall, casting from shore. Down here to the Monona Terrace area, the wall has been heating up. Hearing about some good crappie numbers coming out of there. Also, Law Park, I've been hearing about some fish down there being caught. The triangles continue to be panfish factories. Lake Winger, I heard about a few smaller muskies coming out of here, but the muskies are done spawning and ready to eat. Of course, some good panfish along in here, and that's always a great spot for kids. Turville Bay, I haven't heard much out of Turville Bay, but Squaw Bay has been pretty good. These channels have been still producing some fish. Winnequa, I haven't heard much out of there just as of late, but I know they were getting lots of smaller fish in there, and a good spot to check to catch, catfish bait has been a good spot in there if you're looking for catfish. Otherwise, down the chain on Lottis Park, we've had not a lot of reports out of Lottis Park, but people that launch there head up into Mud Lake, and that's still producing good panfish and bass action up there. So look there. This trestle has still produced a lot of good action of fish that move in through there. It's just a kind of a nice pinch point for fish that are moving through the chain. Lake Farm, I've heard about crappies moving up shallow here, spawning, and some bass, right behind them, and the bluegills. So some good opportunities there up shallow. Haven't heard too much about the lake proper. Temps are still, a little cool for the fish to be out deep. Been hearing about some fish down here on the south end in the South Bay, and rock pile down here, and the shoreline along here for walleyes has been decent. Babcock Park continues to produce fish in the lagoon here, and the little dam that's there, the little spillway. Heard about some fish backed up there still, white bass mostly, but some good numbers. Fish Camp has been producing fish down here still on the docks. Heard about some nice bluegills coming out of the north end of Kegonsa here in the shallow water, so that's always worth a look. But other than that, I haven't heard a lot out of Kegonsa, but water's real clear down there from what I hear, and there's fish to be caught. So otherwise on the chain, or that's about it for the chain, I guess. Down here to Koshkonong, I heard about fish in the usual spots. Some people out trolling in the main lake, but some good action up here where the river dumps in. Fort Atkinson, I haven't heard a lot out of there. A few walleye, I guess I had one guy come in. He's getting walleyes in the Fort Atkinson area. The dam at Jefferson has been producing good white bass, but I think that's pretty much wrapping up now. Same thing up to Prairie du Sac Dam. We got the white bass are up there pretty thick, but I think that's kind of died off, and they've moved downstream a little bit. Heard about some good walleyes down in the Sauk City area and some of the deeper areas around there. Up in Lake Wisconsin, I haven't heard a lot for walleyes or anything coming out of there. The crappies that were up shallow, I heard some negative reports about guys looking for crappies and haven't been finding them. But not all is lost. It's always worth a look up there at Lake Wisconsin. The walleyes should be snapping and moving out deeper as this water warms up. The Dells, same thing with the white bass up here. Good numbers of white bass, but that's also wrapping up. Haven't heard much out of Pettenwell or Castle Rock, but it's all pretty much the same deal. White bass kind of wrapping up, and but still some great action in those locations where fish back up in that current. The Mississippi River, I've heard about flows are down on the river now, and it's a lot more fishable. Of course, the river is always a great mixed bag. Get back in the sloughs. start catching some panfish that are up in there, getting ready to spawn. Is always a great opportunity there and a lot of fun. Um, let's see, over to Milwaukee. I've heard about some guys doing well on cohos out in the Racine area. I have heard that those fish are headed north as they do this time of year. So they're moving north. I've heard the Racine bite is kind of slowed down now, but you got Milwaukee, which is picking up, and then Port Washington and Sheboygan is starting to heat up. So look for cohos up there. Casting spoons at breakwalls and stuff like that has been pretty productive. And of course, those are delicious fish to eat. So it's a great opportunity for folks there. Heard things are pretty much died down as far as things in the pier, but up in the bay itself, of course, some great walleye action up there right now with the post spawn feed bag being put on by those fish, and also heard about some good muskie action, which of course Green Bay is just a world class muskie fishery. So that's worth a look if you're into going for a drive. Trout fishing around the area has been pretty great. Still, it's again, no big rains to wash the creeks out and make them muddy. I have heard some good reports of caddis hatches. I got fish looking up, blue-winged olives coming off, and I was out this last weekend with my son. We got fish on caddis, but we also ran into a nice crane fly hatch. So that's always good to see. Those are big bugs, and got the fish looking up. A crane fly nymph is a very deadly option for trout. Spinning anglers, of course, have been reporting good catches too. So the trout are in a good mood, and they're looking up. Otherwise, I guess that's pretty much it for around the chain and around the area. Please feel free to comment below, post your catches and pics. We always love to see that. If you have any questions or need any more details, always feel free to call the shop here. We can fill you in maybe with a little more current information. But otherwise, hope everybody gets a chance to get out. Wish you the best of luck, and let us know how you're doing. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk next week. Thanks so much.